Have you ever wondered why Africa, a continent so rich in natural resources, struggles economically? Africa's economic enigma is a topic that has intrigued scholars, economists, and curious minds alike for decades. The African continent boasts an abundance of natural resources. It is home to a vast array of minerals, including gold, diamonds, and oil. It's a land blessed with fertile soils, diverse wildlife, and a rich cultural heritage. Yet, despite the continent's wealth in resources, it has consistently grappled with economic challenges. The contrast is stark. How can a continent so rich be so poor? This is the paradox that lies at the heart of Africa's economic conundrum. To understand this, we must take a step back in time to the colonial era. Colonial powers, primarily from Europe, exploited Africa's vast resources for their benefit. They established economic systems designed to extract wealth, often at the expense of the local population. This left a lasting legacy that has shaped the continent's economic trajectory. The post-colonial era has seen Africa strive to overcome its economic challenges. However, the journey has been anything but smooth. Factors such as political instability, corruption, inadequate infrastructure, and a lack of access to education have all served to hinder economic development. Yet despite these challenges, Africa's economic potential cannot be ignored. With a rapidly growing population, a burgeoning middle class, and an increasing focus on innovation and technology, the continent's economic future holds promise. However, the question remains, how can Africa effectively leverage its wealth of resources to drive economic growth and development? How can it overcome the legacy of its past to build a prosperous future? These are questions that continue to dominate discussions about Africa's economic future. It's a paradox that continues to baffle economists and scholars alike. As we delve deeper into Africa's economic journey, we hope to shed more light on this complex yet fascinating enigma. Stay tuned as we explore the historical perspective of Africa's economy in the next scene. To understand Africa's current economic state, we must travel back in time. The economic history of Africa is a tale as old as time itself, a rich tapestry woven through epochs, each leaving an indelible mark on the continent's economic landscape. In the pre-colonial era, Africa was a thriving hub of commerce with intricate trade networks. There was a flourishing barter system, and many regions were known for their gold, ivory, and other abundant resources. A myriad of kingdoms, empires, and city-states, each with its own economic structure, dotted the African landscape. However, the advent of the colonial period brought significant changes. The European powers exploited Africa's rich resources, leading to a severe economic drain. The continent's economy was forcefully shaped to serve the interests of the colonial masters. This exploitation didn't just rob Africa of its wealth, but also disrupted indigenous economic systems and structures. The colonial powers imposed their own policies, often disregarding the socio-economic fabric of African societies. The post-independence era came with fresh hopes and aspirations. African nations sought to rebuild their economies and regain their lost glory. However, the transition was far from smooth. Many nations grappled with the task of economic reconstruction amidst political instability. Economic policies implemented during this period were a mixed bag, with some leading to growth and others causing further setbacks. One of the significant post-independence economic policies was the shift towards socialism by many African countries. However, these policies often led to economic stagnation and inefficiencies. In contrast, some countries adopted market-based policies that led to economic growth, albeit with challenges of income inequality and poverty. The impact of these historical economic shifts is still visible in Africa's present economy. The exploitation during the colonial era left deep economic scars, and the post-independence economic policies have had varied success. Despite the challenges, Africa has shown resilience and adaptability, forging a unique economic journey. The shadows of the past still linger in Africa's present economic landscape. But as we delve deeper into the continent's economic journey, we'll see that these shadows are not just reminders of a tumultuous past, but also lessons for a prosperous future. Fast forward to today, Africa's economic landscape paints a picture of both struggle and potential. The continent's economy is a complex tapestry, woven with the threads of both challenges and opportunities. Let's start with the hurdles. Corruption, a persistent thorn in Africa's side, continues to stifle economic growth, diverting resources that could otherwise be spent on development. Political instability, too, has been a constant source of economic disruption, creating an unpredictable business environment and deterring potential investors. Then, there's the issue of infrastructure. Despite considerable progress in some areas, the continent still grapples with a lack of basic amenities. From inadequate transportation networks to limited access to electricity and clean water, these infrastructural shortcomings hamper productivity and restrict economic expansion. But it's not all doom and gloom. Africa's economic canvas also boasts strokes of promise and potential. Take, for instance, the continent's youthful population. This demographic dividend, if harnessed properly, could fuel a significant economic boom. Africa is home to the world's youngest population, a vibrant, energetic workforce poised to drive the continent's future growth. Then there's the expansion of the middle class, a trend that's transforming Africa's consumer market. With increased purchasing power, this burgeoning middle class is triggering an uptick in domestic consumption, a key driver of economic growth. And we cannot overlook Africa's wealth of natural resources. From oil and diamonds to untapped solar and wind energy, the continent is a treasure trove of commodities. These resources, if managed sustainably, could provide a solid foundation for Africa's economic advancement. So as we look at Africa's economy, we see a story of contrast. A story of challenges, yes, but also a story of immense potential. A potential that, if realized, could rewrite the continent's economic narrative. Africa's economic potential remains largely untapped, a sleeping giant waiting for its moment. So where does Africa's economic future lie? Africa's economic prospects are as diverse as the continent itself, with opportunities spanning various sectors. The burgeoning technology sector, for instance, is one to watch. With the advent of digital transformation, Africa is on the brink of a tech boom. Local tech startups are sprouting across the continent, driving innovation, creating jobs, and shaping a new economic narrative. Then there's agriculture, a cornerstone of Africa's economy. With vast arable land and a youthful population, Africa holds the potential to not just feed itself, but also export to global markets. Modernizing agriculture through technology and innovation could significantly boost productivity, thereby transforming rural economies. Renewable energy is another sector brimming with potential. Given Africa's abundant sunshine and wind, the continent could become a global powerhouse in renewable energy. Harnessing these resources could address energy deficits and spur industrialization while mitigating climate change. But to unlock these opportunities, international investments and partnerships are crucial. They bring in the necessary capital, technology, and expertise. More importantly, they can help build the capacity of local enterprises and institutions, strengthening Africa's economic resilience. So, with the world increasingly looking towards Africa as the next frontier for growth, the continent has a unique opportunity to leapfrog traditional development paths and chart a sustainable, inclusive economic future. With the right policies and partnerships, Africa's economic future looks promising. Africa's economic journey is a tale of paradoxes, potentials, and possibilities. It's a narrative of a land teeming with resources, yet grappling with economic hurdles, a testament to the enduring impact of historical events on its present and future. Today, despite these challenges, Africa stands on the brink of transformation, buoyed by immense potential and growing opportunities. The story of Africa's economy is still being written, and the next chapters hold much promise.